going on with that PPP? You done a lot of talking, not a lot to see. Up in the millions like 2.3, but Jeff got it all, getting off scot-free. Try to talk tips like we talking about stock, but you're talking about men printed on cost stock. When you open your mouth, I take it with a grain of salt, cause the market's down and you're a clown, it's all your fault. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. Did you dip, Jeff? I think you dipped, Jeff. What you talking about? I don't think you dipped yet. Willie's doing shady shit like the GOBs, like his whole failed thing with them NFTs, taking money from the people to pay. Most of them are broke, but that's okay, he's getting money. Even better, tax-free, loving all the stimulus from PPP. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit.
B-side on the beat.
What's going on with that PPP? You done a lot of talking, not a lot to see. Up in the millions like 2.3, but Jeff got it all, getting off scot-free. Try to talk tips like we talking about stock, but you're talking about men printed on cost stock. When you open your mouth, I take it with a grain of salt, cause the market's down and you're a clown, it's all your fault. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. Did you dip, Jeff? I think you dipped, Jeff. What you talking about? I don't think you dipped yet. Willie's doing shady shit like the GOBs, like his whole failed thing with them NFTs, taking money from the people to pay. Most of them are broke, but that's okay, he's getting money. Even better, tax-free, loving all the stimulus from PPP. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit.
What is going on, everybody? Hopefully, you guys are doing well out there. That is right. It is Friday night over here at Sports Card Radio. We are live on Black Friday. Hopefully, you guys all got your shopping in, your eating in, your leftovers in, and hopefully, you ain't getting in what Josh Giddey's getting in, because otherwise, you might be getting in to some jail time. See what happens going forward with the hobby that we all love. We are joined as usual. I see super producer Tim is taking a vacation day, one of his many hours that he is accruing as he appears here on the Sports Card Radio programs. But Ryan not taking a vacation day, loyally sticking it out, collecting that beef jerky money. What is going on? Ryan, looks like you're in front of the United Center.
Well, you know, maybe in the spring or summer, it'd be a good time to be there. I don't think I'd want to be there right now because I bet it's freezing cold. I am in here. I feel like an athlete. I had to ice up my elbow. I don't know what the hell I did to it. I can barely move my arm. So we're over here controlling the situation left-handed, guys. But we've got a lot to talk about in the sports card world. We've got influencers to talk about. We've got professional athletes dipping and diving where they certainly shouldn't be diving. So, I mean, I don't know where we want to start. Where we will start and where you could start your day tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific time, as I will be on True Sports Card Show, Sacktown Sports, 1140 a.m. Home of the Sacramento Kings, I think. So we will be talking sports cards with the owner of the True Sports Card Shop. and there is a show on Sacktown Sports 1140. So be sure to check that out. I'll post a YouTube link in the community section after the show because the show's also on YouTube. True Sports Card Show.
Look at you.
We will be at the Auburn Trading Card Show, ladies and gentlemen. No excuses. We're giving you 3 weeks notice. December 16th, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific time, 70 table, Loomis, California. So I believe that's northeast of Sacramento. And yeah, so we'll be there all set up, ready to go. We'll have some cards. Come buy, sell, trade us anything you got, especially if it's Will Greer. Maybe not the Jets' new quarterback, Boyle or whatever, and maybe not him, maybe not Zach Wilson. So we got a whole bunch of people in the chat. I see Bob Boozle makes his interest into the chat. Living with LT, Hobby News Daily, Zeke's Cards, Will Greer Investor, Barry Davis, Snow Dog. Trey is in the house. Bitcoin Tahoe, Mike Phillips. So everybody's joining us here on a Black Friday. Maybe they spent all their money. I don't think anybody's going to be spending their money on Mr. Josh Giddey. And we will get into him in a second. You know what we're going to have in a couple weeks to round out the year? And everybody in the chat and everybody listening, even if you're watching this on the replay, you can help us out. We're going to have an award show. 2023 Sports Card Award Show. This is going to be like no other award show. You know how all these fucking stupid award shows and they have, pick the best product or who's the best brand or who's the best card. No, we need some unique topics. And I think the chat can probably help us out. You know, they can be sarcastic. They could be semi-serious. You know, biggest scam of the year, influencer of the year, hottest story of the year. So to round out the year in a few weeks, we're going to have an award show. So if you'd like to see a particular topic, if you'd like to see a particular thing debated amongst the community, we're going to also let you guys vote on these things. So stay tuned for that. But I just wanted to put that in your mind, just in case anybody had any good suggestions. And again, we're trying to think outside the box. And it's not going to be the traditional award show. And maybe if we're really lucky, we can get Christina and Brittany to maybe present an award to you, to the audience. So something to maybe look forward to. But I wanted to get into, seems like about a month ago, or maybe it was a little longer than that. Maybe it was a couple months ago. We heard about Wander Franco doing his thing. And I guess we haven't really heard a whole lot about the Wander Franco situation. Maybe he's looking to do the payoff situation. He's counting his money to do some kind of payoff and return to the MLB. But I don't know. Did you see Mr. Giddey? Somebody who's very popular in the sports card investing circles and on a very popular up and coming team. And apparently they're going to have to change their uniforms to under 18. So I know our advice was when Wander Franco got busted, we were like, sell, sell, sell. And these stupid people were going on shows and podcasts and other YouTube channels be like, maybe the time's now to buy Wander Franco. I'm going to pose this question to you right now. Is now the time to buy Josh Giddey?
Well, I think first of all, I think you know how I feel about white basketball players. And some people think that's racist or whatever. I don't really care. I would not collect a white basketball player. I would not, quote, invest in a white basketball player. And now that he has obviously, look, I don't know what the hell he's doing, but clearly he's running into a foul with his personal life. Clearly not somebody that I would invest in. And this is the problem with the NBA. A guy like this, like, how is this guy even collectible? Like, you're telling me people were buying this guy's cards and were excited about buying this guy's cards 5 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
Really? First of all, I never heard of him before this week. Second of all, he's white. Third of all, he looks like he just got out of about 8th grade. Still's got pimples on his face. People are spending that much money on his cards.
Here's one that ended last year for
And this is the
$16,800.
problem with the NBA. This is why I don't watch the NBA anymore, because pimpled face little teenagers that look, they're like 125 pounds. They can make a jump shot. Yeah, they can make a jump shot, and that's why they're in the NBA. But 15 years ago, a guy like this wouldn't even been in the NBA. And now we have collectors spending $13,000 on their cards. Doesn't make any sense. This is why the NBA, if you look at the ratings of the NBA, they're in decline. You look at the popularity of the NBA, it's in decline. Just everything about the NBA, in my opinion, is a terrible product. I don't watch the NBA anymore. I'll tune in maybe on the playoffs, but the NBA is turned into a terrible product. It's up and down. Skinny white dudes that don't play defense and don't really have any other talent other than shooting, can get in the league and apparently have cards to sell for over $10,000. I just don't get it. Not a fan of these guys. Not a fan of players like this. If you're buying cards like this, you're thinking about this hobby too long. I spent the weekend or the Black Friday. I spent, I think, about $780 on primarily Kobe Bryant cards and Michael Jordan cards, and that's all I bought. That you go back and watch the tapes of those guys, they could do it all. They played defense, they played offense, they could drive the basket, they could play back to the basket, they could shoot a three, they could pretty much do anything. This guy can hit a jumper, and that's it. He could hit a jumper, and he could hit a little 14-year-old on the weekend. That's what it looks like to me. So this is why this hobby, this is why the hobby continues to have people come in and then flow out of the hobby, is because I guarantee you we can find influencers pumpers that were for some reason pumping this guy's skill set and pumping this guy up to be more than what he is, a glorified jump shooter on a mediocre team. And that's all I have to say about him.
I think the knock on him is he actually can't shoot. He's actually kind of a 6'8" kind of point forward that can't shoot.
Even worse.
I think the joke was his 3-point percentage was higher than the girls he was trying to date, or slightly higher, or they were the same, like 16% or something. So he was almost like kind of the sixth guy there in Oklahoma City, because he just can't shoot. And a lot of people didn't like your comment about white basketball players. They noted Larry Bird, Jokic, Jason Williams up in Sacramento. We remember how
they named five white basketball players in the 75
Pistol
year
Pete Maravich.
Oh my God! Half of those guys played when like 10 years after black people were freed as slaves. So I mean, of course there was white basketball players back in the day. Shit, come on. These guys.
Well, I think
don't have any skill. I just don't think. I just don't think people have any conception on what makes a good basketball player anymore. If they're spending,
he's
money
Australian.
on this type of guy.
First of all, I wouldn't even. I mean, yeah, he's white, but he's to me he's Australian. I think American white.
And I might have more muscle definition than he does.
Well, we'll have to, we'd have to ask that girl he was dating about his muscle definition, but he's Australian. I think American white basketball player, to me, I don't, Jokic isn't not an American white basketball player. Who was the last good American white basketball player? Larry Bird, Jimmer Fredette, Bobby Hurley.
Wow, we can name 8 good white basketball players, guys. We can't even field the whole team. We can't even field the whole team. Oh, wow. In the whole history of the NBA, there's 8 good white basketball players. So all of a sudden now in 2023, we should be paying $16,800 for this guy. I mean, some of you guys just love to be separated from your money. I think that's just it. There's a lot of things I'd rather do with $16,800. Buying a ninth tier NBA basketball player, a ninth tier white basketball player. Let's just put it like that. We can all name better white basketball players than this, and I guarantee you, John Stockton's cards are not selling for $3,700 these days.
He's not even the best player on his own team.
No, he's not. He's probably not even like the third best player on the team.
I mean, that's the crazy thing. I mean, he's clearly not the best player on the Oklahoma City Thunder, and he never will be. This is probably the highest priced John Stockton card of all time.
It's a nice card. But guys, you're not going to get rich buying stuff like this. You know what I mean? Like I went back and looked. Like I bought Kobe Bryant card. I've pretty much only bought Kobe Bryant cards and Michael Jordan cards for the past 3 years in my Check Out My Cards account. And I went back and looked. Almost none of them I can buy at a lower price. Whereas I guarantee you guys go top to bottom on all the crap that you've guys been told to buy. It is all lower. Mike Trout, lower. Who else is lower? Zion Williamson, Luka. Everybody's lower. Everybody.
Everyone.
Chet Holmgren. You guys are buying this crap? You guys think in 2 years anybody's going to care about Chet Holmgren? He's only viable in the NBA that we're in today, which is soft and not popular. The NBA is not popular. John Stockton was good. Okay. Jokic, who cares? Who cares about Jokic? Who's making money buying Jokic cards? Vucevic. Who's going to make money buying a Vucevic, Ryan? Anybody? Anybody's life changing buying Vucevic? Nobody is. Nobody even knows who he is.
Is he on the Bulls? Is he on the Bulls now?
Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about the NBA anymore. And it's because it's turned into this jump shooting league where 20-year-olds get the ball every once in a while. It's a disgrace.
Yeah, I don't understand the tens of
Doug
thousands of
McDermott
dollars.
was a hot player, right? You remember Doug McDermott? Wally Zerbiak? I mean, that's going back before everybody was told to buy these cards. But God, Wally Zerbiak people pumped him up like he was the next thing. Christian Laettner, God, he was so great. None of you guys have ever made Dirk Nowitzki. Nobody's ever made any money buying Dirk Nowitzki cards. Ever. Steve Nash, his cards are worth nothing. He won like 3 MVPs. His cards are worth nothing.
Here you go. Here's a good one. $18.
There it is. $18, guys. I mean, if you want to buy this stuff and you like fondling it, that's fine. I work hard for my money. I don't want to just dust it off on players like this that literally nobody cares about these players. Nobody cares about them. Nobody remembers them. Nobody cares about them. Nobody is buying into a break and saying, oh my God, I hope I hit a white basketball player in this break. Nobody does that. They did it for a while with Luka. I mean, guys were like, we would get on our podcast. Didn't some guy say he had the number 1, number 2 podcast? So luckily, like, we don't do a podcast anymore because then we can advertise that we actually do have the number 1 podcast. Look at Luka's cards. Just falling off the map, absolute disaster. There it is. And he's good. Luka's actually a good player and can actually play basketball. He doesn't play defense, which is the reason why he's never going to win a title. Being the number 1 guy, you surround him with 3 or 4 other all-stars, and I think he could win a title, have him not touch the ball.
The peak of his market was October 31st, 2021. So that brings probably back a lot of good memories for
a lot of great memories for people and I bet if you had a volume chart on that, the vast majority of people bought at those highs.
Yeah, exactly.
There it is. People buy at the top and they're
looks like the peak was right in here. Was peak volume was
right
April
there.
2022.
There it is.
May 2022. Well, that's dollar amount. Yeah, and people are just holding on to these cards. That's what
They're going to
happens.
hold them.
People,
They're going to ride them all the way down, and he might end up winning a title one day. But no one's going to care at that point. There'll be another Victor Wembanyama or another Zion or somebody else that you're being told to buy at that point.
or even worse, somebody like Josh Giddey, who's not even the best player on his own team.
Yeah, you're buying, maybe
It's like
not
the
even
fourth
the guy.
best player on his team.
He's the best guy coming off. He's not even the best guy coming off the bench for the team.
Well, what about our boy Jeff Wilson, who had to do a video a couple days ago talking about his $30,000 disaster investing in Desmond Ritter cards?
And this guy constantly does this. This guy constantly makes a mistake. This guy constantly overpays for something, and then he comes on here and he's like, well, like he gives you the sugarcoat BS. And I guess people just lap this stuff up. This is what people want to watch. They want to watch this guy overpay for trading cards and then come back 6 to 12 months later and talk about how he overpaid them. And when he bought them, there was probably, maybe a program here on SCR that was saying, wow, look at him. He just spent a ton of money on a quarterback that's going to be a backup next year. And here we are. So he constantly does this. He'll do that with his sports card HQ. Year or two down the line, when he's dusting off whatever, $100,000 a month on it, he'll have to come back and say, well, I was wrong, guys, but let's make a video about it. I mean, this guy constantly has to do this. Is he really a sports card investor at this point? What are we learning from him when he does this? Like, what do we actually get out of this when he does this?
I think that the only positive thing you can take is at least he's not telling people to invest in Desmond Ritter. He's not looking in the camera and telling you, it's Ryan Finley time. You should listen to me. You should listen to me. He's pretty much at this point just chronicling his own, I guess we could say, failures. But I bet if you talk to him, he would say that he's somehow up on sports cards. I mean, I guarantee if you talk to this guy, he would say that he's up on sports cards, even though he takes loss after loss after loss. And he's investing in these kind of high risk assets that at this point don't have that much upside in them. When's the last time we've seen a guy's cards explode? Brock Purdy, by the time Brock Purdy's cards exploded, he didn't have anything out. Like, you couldn't have made like a big, huge move. When's the last time we've seen a guy that's been a rookie for a couple of years, his whole product explode? He explodes in value. It's been a long time. Actually, one of our first categories for our award show, I think we actually kind of lucked into that. It's going to be best white basketball player. So we're going to be thinking of the nominees for that. Luka will certainly be on the list, but we're definitely, guys, a best white basketball player will definitely be in the mix.
Best white basketball player investment. I think since these guys, for some reason, the hobby thinks that you can invest in this. You just don't. You don't invest in it. And yeah, I think somebody, oh wow, a one-of-one masterpiece, Dirk Nowitzki sold for $79,000. Nobody bought that. Nobody in this hobby made money on that, other than Ken Golden, because it probably sold on his website. Okay, one-of-one masterpieces of random NBA players we've never heard of sell for a lot of money. It doesn't surprise me.
Ken did make money on this.
Yeah. So yeah, this is great for Ken. I'm happy for Ken. He added a 0.01% to his acres. That's just a fantastic card. I don't care who's on it. But Dirk Nowitzki is not an investment.
Well, I mean, you look at some of these Josh Giddey cards. 16,800 for a card out of 49. What's the upside there? If a Dirk Nowitzki one-of-one, who's actually won an NBA championship before in his life, one of the few white players or foreign white players. I do want to make a distinction between American-born white players and these foreign guys. I mean, Jimmer Fredette might be the last good of.
Look, I don't draw a distinction in how many years has the NBA been around? 75 years? And we can name 8 good white basketball players? Guys, hello. That doesn't make it a good investment. That means it's probably a losing bet 99.99999% of the time. So
But yeah,
yeah, there are
this is his
exceptions to
best
the
card.
rules. There
This
it
is
is.
his very
Great.
best
Oh
card.
wow, a 101. Cool. One person got it. And yeah, he's had some other cards that sell for a lot. Who cares? What's his name? Under 18 guy is selling for more than this.
Yeah,
Under
he is.
18 has cards that are selling for as much as this. And he comes off the bench. Dirk Nowitzki was obviously a great player from day one. I remember collecting his cards when he was a rookie. I remember having some of his cards. Jason Williams, Vince Carter, Rashard Lewis, Michael Olakandi. It was a great draft. It was a great year to be buying and selling baseball cards and football cards and basketball cards. But oh wow, an autograph sells for $10,000. Like, what's his name? I don't even remember his name. Under 18 guy. Like his fourth best card is selling for $10,000. That
And here's
card's
a rookie
impossible to get. That's impossible to get in a
rookie
9.5.
card. Yeah, rookie card number to 68 sells for $9,900.
Like easily his best card.
49. That's why I don't get I've never understood the upside of buying these modern cards. And everybody, that you talk to, when you read comments, everybody says how stupid it is. Well, why is somebody paying $16,000 for these fucking cards? Like it's just the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Danny Ferry, nobody cares. Kurt Rambis, nobody cares. Vinny Del Rego, nobody cares. Bill Walton, nobody cares. Mark Price, nobody cares. Hedo Turkoglu, nobody cares. Tony Kukoc, nobody cares. Sabonis, nobody cares. Where did Sabonis go in the playoffs last year? Just nobody cares. Nobody cares. Literally. 75-year history of the NBA. Kobe, Michael, Shaq,
LeBron, Bill Russell.
Even he came out kind of the second tier. Dominique Wilkins, Isaiah Thomas, Charles Barkley. Much rather be looking at those players. I mean, the Lakers have 10 players.
There was a huge Charles Barkley card in the auction tonight.
And this is the thing, you guys are getting polluted. Like whoever is telling you to buy these cards is polluting your brain with just garbage. Nobody.
You get influenced. Like
you
don't think there were people that bought Desmond Ridder because Jeff went in on him, indirectly or directly. People don't want to admit it. People don't want to admit how heavily influenced they are by this crap.
And I don't know if anybody, I don't know if anybody even watches the games. I sure as hell can't watch the NBA anymore. I used to watch 4 or 5 NBA games a night. Now I can't even watch it. It's absolute garbage. The product is terrible. Okay. And this comes from somebody that I spent a lot of my life and a lot of time in my life following the NBA. And really, the NBA was easily by far the sport I love to watch the most. So I'm not saying this out of like a long-term hatred for the NBA. It is more recently, really since the Warriors have gotten kind of changed how the NBA has been played. It's unwatchable. You can't watch this crap anymore. You just can't watch it. There's no defense. There's no creativity. If you run a play, it's pick and roll. And that's it. There's no back to the basket. There's no elbow play. There's no defense being played. Nobody really cares. I think the average salary in the NBA is now about $4 million. Weed's legal, so these guys are all high as hell. None of them are very entertaining to listen to or watch, or none of them are very inspirational. Even LeBron is not very, especially with his views on politics and his views on stuff, not very Not very entertaining.
You're not entertained by the legend of Omaha, Nebraska.
Nobody
Doug
cares.
McDermott.
I go up the street and watch high school basketball players if I want to watch that quality of talent these days. No, and nobody's
Well-
telling you guys this because they have NBA cases to sell, they have spots to sell, they have a sponsorship, they have this, that, and the other. Nobody's telling you guys this. These players, nobody, like, we're gonna look back, like, we won't even look back and laugh because it'll be so obvious. The people that paid $16,000 for a Josh Giddey card, when was this card sold? Like recently,
Last
like
year.
a year ago. Like, we are gonna look back and just laugh at that. Like, that is gonna be, like, that card would be lucky to be $160. I mean, there you go. It looks like every penny stock I've ever seen in the stock market. Come out, got the hype, everybody, all the retail and the amateurs buy in, and then it goes to shit, and then everybody forgets about it, and then there's a new white guy that for some reason people are again, in the 75-year history of the NBA, we can't even field like a quality starting five of white basketball players. Especially if you compare it to any, Shaq, Kobe. I mean, you can put the Lakers starting five: Magic, Shaq, Kobe, Kareem, and James Worthy against the five best white basketball players of all time. And just the best starting five ever of the Lakers would beat that. That's just one team, let alone if we let Michael Jordan play on the team, let alone if we let Wilt Chamberlain play on the team. Okay. Wilt Chamberlain was on the Lakers. So it's like, I maybe the second best five players ever on the Lakers could beat the best five white basketball players in the NBA. And this is just a fact. Nobody in society is talking about this stuff either because they're worried about getting canceled and they're worried about, oh, I don't want to appear insensitive. I don't want to lose one of my followers. I don't want to make somebody watching mad. I mean, either you want to make money in this hobby and you want to spend your money wisely or you don't. And spending it on this crap is it just doesn't work, period.
And at some point, yeah, once you retire, nobody cares
Look
about
at
you
that.
anymore.
It's a great card, great player. Literally the logo of the NBA. I mean, that's a play. I doubt that's a real logo, man. But
Yeah, that's like a fake Panini card. But
yeah.
you could see what his rookie card, approximately sells for.
I mean, that's a pretty hard card to find. I've tried to
Especially in
buy
this
these
condition.
cards in the past, not at that condition, but I've tried to buy these cards in the past. There you go. Shining example, and it's barely more than what people are paying for Josh Giddey.
Well, and you'll just see people make the same mistake over and over.
They're gonna
Jeff
do
will
it
be
again.
Jeff will be on to some other player that is brand new and will have 1 million cards released in the next 6 months. And he'll pile some money. He'll get suckered into buying a couple rare cards or trading for a couple rare cards. And the same thing will happen over and over again. I mean,
It'll happen over and over and over again.
we're going to talk about the sports card therapist, and people were making fun of people buying Eli Manning cards. And I was thinking to myself, at least Eli Manning has 2 Super Bowls. Fucking all these dorks that people buy these days haven't ever won shit or lose their job 3 weeks into the season.
Allen, Justin Herbert. I mean, at least those guys.
Well, you go to Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, Johnny Manziel. I mean, we can go. How far do you want to go back? I mean, at least a couple of these guys still have a chance to win something. People were making fun of Eli Manning purchases, and I'm thinking to myself, like, at least he beat Tom Brady twice in a Super Bowl. So I'm not sure actually people watch the games or keep up on the games. They're literally just trying to buy a lottery ticket, put it on Instagram, and sell it. Or they get it into their head that Josh Giddey's going to be a star, even though he's not even the third best player on his own team. And they unload the clip on card after card of his. Card not even rare sells for $16,000. And yeah, somebody brings up this Dirk Nowitzki card. This is his best card is worth $79,000. His best card that you could buy sold for $79,000. So what the heck is the upside in these stupid guys who ain't even going to be 1/10 the player Dirk Nowitzki is? But we're going to see this over and over. It's going to happen again. It's happening right now. There are quarterbacks in this, one quarterback's going to win the Super Bowl this year. And the rest are probably going to go down in price in the offseason. Who was it? Justin Fields? Everybody was saying buy Justin Fields in the offseason. I mean, people were like licking the Justin. How'd that work out? Your boy got hurt last week. Joe Burrow. At least Joe Burrow's been to a Super Bowl. Look at that.
Well, still though, I would not be buying top of the mark Joe Burrow cards. And this was before he got hurt. And I think I've even said this on the show. I would not be a buyer of top of the mark Joe Burrow cards because we're buying Joe Montana autograph cards for like $60 every other weekend. I'll probably have a very nice Joe Burrow card collection at some point. It'll probably be 20 years from now. You know what I mean? Like, I don't, to me, I don't, if you can train yourself to not buy into the hype, but like any hobby that I'm in, people do this. Okay. The latest Rolex comes out and they go for a lot of money and yeah, some people just have to have it, but those people tend to have a lot of money in this hobby. We have people like, we've gotten messages before where people are like literally missing rent checks because they're having to buy the latest cards. Just take a really like long-term view of the hobby and you won't be disappointed. Justin Field, that'd be lucky to be a $390 card in 3 years. Yeah, and people are like, "Oh no, there's no way." It's okay. Pull up any Joe Blow quarterback that's not in the league. What does this 101 shield sell for? Not much.
Not much, especially when they haven't ever done anything and they're sitting on the sidelines.
No.
I mean, this is literally a Tesla. Somebody said in the comments, this is literally a Tesla.
More. You can get a Tesla. After tax incentives, I'm seeing guys on Twitter get them for $29,000. You get a Model 3 after tax incentives for like 29 racks in some states. You can lease them for like $250 a month.
I mean, this has always been true in the hobby. People, are trading Mickey Mantle's cards for Greg Jeffries, but those Greg Jeffries were a few dollars each. They were not the price of a car, essentially. What has happened in the last it's really only been 5-6 years of this hobby where these cards have turned into the prices of brand new Teslas. For Justin Fields, we're not talking about Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady, which I could reason with that. And it's not one card, it's multiple cards. Here's a $24,000 one that sold. This was 4 months ago, 3 months ago. This is three months ago. $24,000.
Props to the people that selling that stuff. I mean, there's times to sell. I don't want to make it seem like it's a beat down on trading cards. I've been buying more cards. We've both been buying more cards over the past 6 to 12 months than we had in a really long time. I went back and check out my card stats during 2019, 2020, and 2021. Check out my cards. In one of my accounts, I think I bought like 30 cards. Like I barely bought anything. And now I'm buying. I think I bought more cards this past week than I did in most years. So I think there's certainly opportunities out there, but it's not in like the real speculative stuff. It's similar to what we've seen in the stock market, right? Most of the speculative stocks over the past year and a half aren't doing well, but all the blue chips, the Googles, which is like Kobe, your Apples, this is like Jordan, like those have held up and done well. And so that's where we're kind of moving our money into, and that's what I'm still looking at. The speculative stuff just still doesn't interest me right now. I just don't think I still don't think we're in an era where you can speculate on these guys. It just doesn't make sense. They're making way too many of these cards. The NFL and the NBA, these things change so quickly. You can be on the top of the game one week and then you're injured and out for the season the next. And look, they're just going to rig the NFL playoffs are going to be rigged. It's going to be the Chiefs are going to be back in the Super Bowl. I don't know who they're going to want to put in there from the NFC. They're probably just going to want a rematch since that was the highest rated, I think, Monday Night Football game ever. They're going to want Taylor Swift fans to be all excited, and they're going to put that game back in the Super Bowl. And that's what they're going to do. So, but that doesn't mean I'd run out and buy the kid that's the quarterback for the Eagles. And I sure as hell wouldn't be running out and buying Mahomes or Travis Kelce cards either.
Well, you're going to have opportunities about if you take a long-term perspective. If you want to rush and get it on Instagram and get some likes, then by all means spend $144,000 on one of these cards. That's why. Okay, so here's the Prism Black Finite 1 of 1, Jalen Hurts. It sold for about 11 months ago for $144,000. That's why I don't get these investments by somebody like Jeff, because it's like if he spent $15,000 each on these cards, his upside is only 10x, which sounds like a lot, but if I'm risking $15,000, your upside, your almost max upside is Desmond Ridder leads the freaking Falcons to the Super Bowl, and his card explodes to 150,000, of which you'd only get to take home 120,000. It's not even 10x. So I don't get, like, Jeff, you've been talking about cards for how many years now? You spent 15,000 on these cards and the upside wasn't even a 10x upside. It's fucking bizarre. It doesn't make any sense. If this was 1.4 million, then I get spending 15,000 on some of these cards that are fringy. Maybe I kind of get it. The max upside is like 140 grand. What are you spending 15,000 on a guy who fucking sucks and would have to lead his team to the Super Bowl for you to realize that upside? It's bizarre. That's just so many. You could nickel and dime card lots. You could grade and flip. You could do so many other. You could start a 14,000 square foot card shop. So many easier ways to potentially 10x your money than risk it on some quarterback who ended up getting benched in week 8 for somebody who's not even any good. The fuck is wrong with these people? And is there 10x upside in this card? Is this card ever going to sell for $1 million? Hell no. Hell no. He could win the next 3 Super Bowls in spectacular fashion, and it wouldn't sell for $1 million. I don't get the modern crap. I don't get it. And the people who are over here talking about it and pumping this shit and breakers who open this shit, you guys honestly should be ashamed of yourself. This is fucking stupid. It's bizarre. 3 months ago, this card sold. Not even 3 months ago for $40,000. Does anybody think this is worth fucking $40,000? No wonder this hobby's in the shitter and in the tank. And the market movers 500 is, I couldn't log in. Did I get kicked out of market movers? They wouldn't let me log in. So maybe we got kicked out of market movers. The SCI 500 is at an all-time low. You look at all these indexes. 1 month change. The only ones that are up are Star Wars and Culture 51. Everything else down. Everything else down. What about year to date? What do you think is up? Star Wars, wrestling, and entertainment. Everything else down. The fuck are you guys doing? You guys should stop breaking this crap. And certainly don't be buying $15,000 cards that don't even have 10x upside.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's actually some pretty good things to buy these days, but it's not this speculative 22-year-old kid stuff. It just isn't. It just isn't. NBA sponsorship revenue is up, guys. Who cares? That's what's ruining the league. The fourth guy on the bench is making $5 million. He can sit around, smoke a bunch of weed. He doesn't have to play defense. He can jack 18 threes a game and make 2, and he doesn't get cut, but he still gets playing time. The ratings are down. Attendance is down. Like, literally nobody cares about the NBA, guys. Like, maybe you do, okay? But your frame of reference is probably just the last 2 or 3 years. We've been watching, I first started watching NBA basketball games when Magic Johnson was in his prime. So, it's been a long time. The game is terrible.
We saw the whole career of Shaq
all
and
of
Kobe.
those guys. I remember when Kobe was drafted and then traded to the Lakers. I remember the day that happened. Okay.
Well,
the
this
NBA is a terrible product these days. It's a terrible product. It's a terrible product.
This is a 1998 playoff guide, and Kobe famously, I believe, airballed a couple shots against Utah, and we got swept out of the playoffs. And then famously, Phil Jackson got hired, and we won 3 straight titles. So, we know the history of the NBA, and that's why we can look at a guy like Josh Giddey and just laugh. And $16,800. And I don't know that much about the NFL, and quarterback play, but I know it's a tough position, and I know only one guy can win a Super Bowl, and lately that's been Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes, and nobody else has even been close, especially consistently year after year. I think Jimmy Garoppolo made a Super Bowl a couple years ago.
He did. He almost made one the year before that too. Year before last year, he almost was in the Super Bowl. He was was a Niner defensive player making an interception from being in the Los Angeles Super Bowl against the Bengals.
So I don't get it. And I've made countless videos this year where I talk about the market crashing, and you can go to the comments of those videos and it's people being like, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about." And Justin Fields and Justin Herbert. What's the guy on Instagram who sends me a message every other week talking about he's the biggest Justin Herbert collector in the world?
It's like, you're the third biggest loser in the world.
And I'm thinking to myself, and he's showing me like Panini Instant 1-of-1s, and I'm like, how much are you into that crap for? Like, okay, 16,000 is one thing, 144,000 is another thing. This is $1.8 million. Is this going to 10x in value and get to 18 million someday, you think? Is this card going to be worth $18 million someday?
I don't know. I don't think so. You can get a hell of a mansion out here in California for 18 million.
I mean, is everything manipulated? We're going to talk about sports card therapists in a minute. I mean, are all these fucking cards manipulated? Right? Like,
well, they were when the money was when they were lending money out and giving credit to let you buy more of these cards. So the value got pumped up. But yeah.
I think they just send one of these to $1.8 million, and then you don't feel that bad about spending 40 on Justin Fields, because you think the upside's 1.8 million, but those 1.8 ain't ever going to come back. This kid could, like I said, win 3 straight Super Bowls and beat Patrick Mahomes 3 straight times. It's not going to be worth $1.8 million.
Yeah. And he's not winning Super Bowls.
he's not even making the playoffs.
He looks great. He's a very good quarterback. Okay. We're not denying that he can't throw the ball, but he's not a winner. I've seen enough of his games. He is not a winning quarterback. And even if he was, wait until he's at the tail end of his career, like Tom Brady. How much has Tom Brady's cards gone down, Ryan, over the past 6 months or so?
A shit ton. I mean, we can actually track these things now.
Yeah.
I mean, you could see. Okay, let's go 6 months. 45% in 6 months.
There you go.
How about 1 year? 57%. How about 2 years?
And it doesn't look as good on Instagram when you're not buying the hot guy, the newest sets. It's not as great to buy into breaks because, Tom Brady cards aren't flying out of breaks these days. But like I said, one day I'm going to have a pretty nice Joe Burrow collection, whether he wins a Super Bowl or not. I think he's done enough for the team to where I'll probably have a few of his nice cards. But it's going to be well after he retires. And the card, nobody cares about them, whether he wins 5 Super Bowls or not.
Yeah, it's
No, and
retracing all the way.
nobody's selling you this in the hobby because it doesn't serve their own interests. They're looking for a sponsorship. They're looking to work with Tops. They're working to get their own trading card made. Whatever they're trying to do repacks. They're trying to do whatever it is. Okay. Thankfully, we don't have to do we don't have to worry about that. Let's move on to the shield bidder guy. I think
I did want to make people aware. We got an email. There's a Chad Parker out of Ohio. Always be wary about dealing with anybody in Ohio. He's stealing pictures from Burbank Sports Cards and other listings and using them that as his own and putting, absurdly low prices on them just to kind of get you to send him some money through Facebook. I would never buy cards through Facebook, number one. That's just blanket. I would never buy cards from Facebook ever, period. So
yeah,
that's probably the first mistake. That's where all the scams in this hobby come from. I could do a video every day about the top 5 scams of Facebook from yesterday. This guy didn't pay. This guy said he was going to pay. This guy welched. This friends and family scam. This guy in Ohio scam. I mean, it's endless. There's literally Facebook groups 100,000 deep that every day it's some guy, welching on something or not paying for something or didn't send something or package ended up empty. So I would never buy cards on Facebook. But if you do, don't buy from Chad Parker in Ohio. And nobody's going to tell you this. People say, "Oh, you should buy cards and make friends and do it." No. Do not buy cards on Facebook. Dumbest fucking idea of all time. Speaking of one of the dumbest moves of all time, I'm sure you heard about the sports card therapist and his. I don't know if we're really sure what he was trying to do. He put a mega bid, quote unquote, on this Eli Manning card. It ended on eBay. He didn't pay for it. I think he was only given a few days to pay for it. This guy, Modest Card Collection, was the second high bid. He emailed the seller. He ended up with the card, posted it on Instagram. Ironically, the sports card therapist came and commented on it on the post of this Eli Manning. Said, me and a handful of others were also bidding on this one. Well, yeah, sports card therapist, you were actually the high bid and didn't pay. Now, I guess my question to you is I want to get your thoughts on what do you think sports card therapist's intention was? Was he trying to pump the market? Did he get overextended on a mega bid and just couldn't pay? Was there something else sinister involved? I don't think we've heard your thoughts on the sports card therapist. And then, the crime really, compared to some other people we've talked about on the show, the crime he committed really wasn't, I mean, we're talking about a misdemeanor at best. Might even be just a fine and a ticket. I mean, this guy didn't do anything that bad, especially compared to some other guys we've talked about. I mean, he didn't get a $2 million PPP loan and fucking dust it off on sports cards. I mean, come on, guys. He put a mega bid on an Eli Manning card, couldn't pay, but it was his reaction afterwards. He deletes the video, the apology video he made. I think he's still nuked off Instagram. He deleted his Instagram. I don't know what the heck is going on there. He deleted his podcast. He deleted his YouTube. I mean, this is like what card porn did when he got busted. I mean, I can't even find this guy on here anymore. Where'd he go? So what's your reaction to the sports card therapist who, it looks like his account, everything's totally nuked over something that was fairly minor?
Yeah, to me, considering this was a relatively minor offense, he could have explained it away a lot of different ways. He could have just been honest about it and apologized. And I mean, the card community is still going to be investing in Josh Giddey cards, and there'll probably be 8 podcasts this week about how that's a great investment and you should be buying those cards. And don't worry, it was there was only a 4-year age gap between him and his girlfriend, so it's not a big deal. To me, there must be way more to this story. There must be that we
His
haven't
website's
uncovered
gone.
yet. His website's gone. Like, to me, there must have been he must have been doing way, way, way more than what we found out about. To me, this it must be like the precursor to what this was like the minor offense, and then he has some felonies that he's trying to cover up. That's my only guess, because I don't understand running to the hills this quickly. There must have been some major felonies in his closet that he's trying to not have be discovered if you run it like this. Because this is a very, very, very drastic thing. Or he's just one of these super snowflakey guys that just any type of heat, and he can't handle it no more. But there's not. You'd have to be really, really, really. Even when you're kind of snowflakey, you have a lot of excuses. You know what I mean? Like, he'd have a lot of excuses. He certainly would have people clocking in for free and defending him, but he must have some major felonies behind the scenes on this one. That's the only thing that I can think of, because this is really odd behavior. This is, like you said, kind of card porn behavior, where if you are guilty, like, card porn could legitimately get. I mean, you could legitimately go to jail for what card porn did. And that's not a joke. I mean, there's a guy in the watch world right now that's in jail right now for basically scamming a little bit higher dollar value than what this jersey was. But my guess is this wasn't the first foray for card porn into frauding people.
This is a $500,000 jersey that he tried to fake. I mean, these aren't even in the same stratosphere of crimes. I mean, he literally put a mega bid on a card. I could be the best sports card therapist, defense attorney right now. I think he was only given 4 days to pay. Maybe he was still planning to pay. Maybe he was waiting to get paid. Maybe he had to convince his wife to buy a card like this. Some sellers give you up to a week, sometimes 10 days to pay for something. I think it wasn't like he had welched out for like weeks on the thing and it was clearly he wasn't going to pay. He might have still been planning to pay for this card. And then hey, he got exposed kind of in a very creative way. Modest Card Collection, did some very good investigation job into the situation. And it was presented very well on his Instagram. And then some other people who did videos picked it up and did a very nice job as well. So certainly it's embarrassing. But this is a guy who, as recently, apparently as a couple weeks ago, apparently his podcasts are still up in Europe, I'm being told through some emails. Wow. I think that I got today, that it looks like in Europe, maybe whatever the platform it's on, he hasn't deleted it, or somehow those don't get deleted. And as early as like a couple weeks ago, he's bragging about how he has the second biggest sports card podcast. And I don't know if that's true or not. I don't keep up on those type of things or rankings, but this is somebody who thought very highly of himself. And so I could see, like you said, he gets a little snowflakey, and maybe he deletes some things or puts his Instagram on private, or just kind of wants to duck out for a couple weeks, which is fine. But to nuke everything in a similar fashion to card porn, when your alleged crimes are not even in the same ballpark. I mean, one's O.J. Simpson and one's jaywalking, as far as I'm concerned. So I tried to reach out to this guy, and these guys are impossible to get a hold of. Impossible to get a hold of this MFer, because he shut down his Instagram. He has no email address. You could see that his website went nuked. He has no way to contact him over on YouTube, even when this thing was live. I mean, you dang near have to just leave a comment on his video with your contact information to hope that he gets a hold of you. So I hope that somebody who is friends with him maybe gets him on a live stream. You think this guy's going to want to sit out when the national comes around next year and everybody's talking about sports cards and everybody wants to go and everybody's pumped up? That's when everybody gets pumped up about sports cards. Top Series 1 baseball in January and February, and the national in late July and August. Those are the 2 times people come out of the woodworks in the sports card world, year after year. Year after year. Top Series 1 baseball, start of the new baseball card season in January and February, and the national. And you're telling me this guy's going to want to sit out? He's welcome to come on the program. We can ask him all about this, and we could try to dig into, is there more to this story? Because he shut his website down. His website was still working. This actually takes a little bit of effort to shut down your website. This takes a little bit of effort. I mean, this guy really did want to kind of get off the internet. Somebody who bragged about the size of his audience and the reach of his podcast. This is, I don't know, this is weird. This is a weird one to me. Because, yeah, I get how, whatever, he got caught. He didn't, whatever he was doing with this card, he didn't pay for it. But he didn't fake a Michael Jordan jersey that's worth $500,000. I know that. And fake photographs. I mean, what Cardboard did, I mean, this guy should never be allowed in hobby circles ever again. He will be. He will be. We'll see this guy again. People will welcome him back. I'm not there with Sports Card Therapist. I'd like to hear. I never got to hear his response video because he deleted it. And maybe if he takes a couple weeks, lets things blow over, maybe he'll come back somewhere. He's certainly welcome on the program. And this is a guy who I guarantee you, just from the few videos I watched of him, this dude doesn't like Sports Card Radio. This guy's not a fan of Sports Card Radio. I'm sure this guy to the little wolf pack, I mean, he's talked shit before. I don't care. I'm still going to judge him based on kind of the merits of the situation. And I don't think this is a very big crime, but the fact that he nuked everything, like you said, what else is going on? What the hell else did he, or what was he really doing? Maybe he was trying to inflate the prices of Eli Manning cards, which seems kind of weird, but these guys take their collection very seriously. I mean, and even if it's Eli Manning cards and even if it's your own personal collection, like you take that as seriously as your fantasy football team. You're the only one who cares about your fantasy football league and your fantasy football team. These guys care deeply about their collection, their cards, how they're perceived on Instagram. I mean, it's 16,000 followers on Instagram. I don't think it's that easy to get unless you pay for followers. It's not that easy to get that many followers. This took some time. I'm in shock. I'm in shock, and I don't even know what to say. I tried to, dig in and investigate this guy and reach out to him and just talk like, bro, like, let's get on the couch and, lay down and we'll do a little therapy session. So I don't know. I don't know. Makes me not want to trust any of these guys. That's for sure. With anything they say, with any of the content they make. Because what the hell are they doing? What the hell is really going on?
I don't know. To me, none of it is a very good excuse. If you're trying to run up the comps on Eli Manning cards at this stage of his career, not exactly sure. And look, if you're a collector, don't you want? To me, it's like I want to buy Kobe cards. I want them to go down. I want to buy Kobe cards and have them go down. If I was a real estate investor, I'd probably like for real estate to go down for a pretty long period of time so I can buy a bunch of stuff. Okay. If you have a long-term view on Eli Manning, wouldn't you want the cards to actually go down?
I think part of these guys' identity is the value of their cards and the value of their collection. So I think no, they don't. Some collectors maybe do want a tank and price so that they could obtain what they want. But I think some people, the new wave of collector, the Jeff Wilson guys, their identity is kind of tied into these cards. And so if they're buying cards that are tanking in value or not worth very much, I think that does bruise their ego as much as, getting called out on Sports Card Radio or some of these other shows that clearly his ego was. I'm shocked that this story is, I think, a week old and that this guy vanished off the face of the earth. I could see maybe deleting all your stuff for a couple days and just taking a moment and just whatever, shutting off your phone, go touch some grass or whatever people tell us to do. But it's a week old. Thanksgiving just happened. And when you really step back and look at what he did, his crime against humanity really was fucking not even anywhere close to what we've seen even recently. This was in September. This is 2 months ago. Cardboard's making a $500,000 jersey. And Cardboard probably had
the guys and all the other stuff that's going on in the hobby. To me, it's just a pretty relatively low crime that he could have easily explained away. He could have gone on, like these guys are saying, he could have gone on Jeremy Lee's. He could have got on with the curator, and the 18 people that listen to his podcast would have nodded their head and been like, "Oh, we love you, Robert." So I don't know. Doesn't make any sense to me. When it doesn't make sense, there's probably more to the story. We'll obviously be here to cover that when it happens. Is there anything else we got to talk about tonight on this great Black Friday?
It looks like, in terms of topics, that's what I had.
Okay. Let's go to some question and answers.
Let's do
Will
it.
Will SCR live stream from the grand opening of Card HQ? When is he scheduled to open his card store? Do we know?
In January, I think.
So it's going to be in January? That's
Mhm.
I have a lot of things I'm doing in January. Going to, where is this card show? Atlanta?
A little outside of Atlanta.
Going to the outskirts of Atlanta. Not exactly high on the places I'm going to be traveling to in the great month of January. I have some very cool things I'm going to be doing in January. Going to the outskirts of Atlanta, certainly unarmed, probably not something I'd be very excited about doing. How's that Rosa Parks? Let's see. When does this stuff end? 22 minutes from now? So how much do you think that is worth?
I think
Looks
to the right person, you could get 1,000.
Is it on an 8x10 or a 2x5?
It's on an index card or
Index
something
card, okay.
signed cut. It says.
Okay.
So
letter of
probably
authenticity from who? JSA?
JSA.
All right. Well,
I compared it to some other ones.
when did she pass away? When did Rosa, or is Rosa Parks? What's her? We obviously know her story. So she passed away in 2005. Okay. So okay.
It's kind of just an interesting, people are paying $16,000 for Josh Giddey. I mean, what I mean? So
no one's gonna even heard of ever. So yeah, Rosa Parks, they still teach
whose rights could be taken away at any moment. He could be deported, I guess, pretty soon. I guess I don't know what they'll do to Josh Giddey. Maybe they'll just deport him back to Australia or something. So, Shaq and Kobe autographed 1998 playoff guide.
Okay.
$1,000. Okay. We got Mbappe's at 2,000. These have sold for well over 2,000. Kobe's at 15.
Don't we have one of those already, or we don't?
No, I think I bid on some of these. I think sometimes these get to like into the $1,500 range. That's kind of where I was kind of hoping on that. These rarely come up for sale. This is out of 10. 2005 exquisite with the patch. One of these sold for like several thousand about a year ago. So it's a BGS 8. So it looks like the centering actually centering 7.5. So got hit on the centering, but
Cool card.
and certainly when you start getting into Mr. Josh Giddey,
I mean, it seems like these are a bargain when you're looking at how much people are paying for these guys.
this one ends tonight, $1,800 out of 50. Charles Barkley autograph from his playing days,
That's cool.
1999.
Yeah,
So
pretty
that's kind of
cool.
cool. Toward the end of his career. And we were looking up white basketball player. Yeah, I mean, when you start comparing things to what people are willing to pay for Justin Herbert, Justin Fields, we had our boy Jeff Wilson talking about Desmond Ritter. I mean, 700 here, 800 there, 1,000 there for players who have actually been there and done something. Doesn't seem that bad. Certainly, it's a lot easier to place a bid on these things. Yeah, I'd cook it. You never see these come up for sale. So yeah, 19 minutes left. Then there's the extended bidding, but I had a couple things for sale, but in the auction, but some Mickey Mantle boxes. Nah, a bunch of scrap press pass boxes and Mickey Mantle boxes.
Okay. Thoughts on the original photos, like them MJ ones in the auction? To me, that seems like that market's getting pumped. That market's getting pumped. If you have those to sell, I would sell them.
Sell.
The Type 1 photos, sell. Now is not the time to be buying any of this crap. It is time to sell. Whenever you have, what's his name? Darren Rovell. Anytime Darren Rovell starts pumping something, that is the time to sell. My guess is Jeff Wilson's probably done a video on something like this too. Sell. You have any of these Type 1 photos? Sell. Any of these. Anytime they're being pumped by social media, the auction houses are starting to pump this stuff. Sell them. Okay.
Well, there's only like 2 people in the world that can tell like if it's a Type 1 photo. That's what this market is so stupid and so could be manipulated so easily because there's like literally 2 guys in the world. Because a Type 1 photo, I think, is a photo that's been developed within the first 3 years of it being taken. And it's like, how do you tell that? Like, how is it? Like, how do you actually know that that's what you're getting? Yeah. So, this is like to me, this is almost like a made up thing. Like it's just made up.
Yeah.
And so, yeah,
it's
people
like
are spending
boxes. To me, this is like Wheaties boxes or like starting lineup figures. It's a fad. I would, if you have any of these, I would sell them. If you like them, just wait. The market's going to cool off on these. They're going to flood the market with them, and you're not going to have a problem picking this stuff up. But when Darren Rovell starts tweeting about it, that's when you know it's time to sell. Because he pumped the ticket market. The ticket market went boom and then bust. And he's pumping this. He had some of these, I think, in his collection. He's just pumping. These guys just pump this stuff up and they sell it because they don't make a lot of money as a journalist, so they have to pump this stuff up.
Well, look, you can clearly fake the photographs and fool somebody. Like card porn, fake the photographs. So I mean, you probably could fake these fucking things.
Yeah,
pretty easy.
Sell. I would sell these as fast as Wander Franco and what's the other guy's name? Giddey.
Josh Giddey.
Yeah, I would be selling those as fast as though if I had a stack of them, I'd be selling them all as fast as I can. And white basketball players. Did you see Mr. Gamble get his butt beat? I did not see that. Right?
Oh yeah, that was a weird. God, this is weird, man. I don't know if it'll come up. He got beat up, like literally.
He got beat up by who? Oh Lord,
I don't know, man. Like
right. He needed one of those.
He's staying. Yeah, exactly. He needed that. He was staying in there.
Idea, though, to pull that out. I wouldn't. You're gonna pull a gun out. Pull a gun out. Don't put a fake one out.
Yeah, exactly. He was staying at an Airbnb, and he, I don't know, got in a dispute with the neighbor next to him, and then he got tossed around. So, and the cops even come right here, like the cops.
Oh my God.
The cops. So we got cops right here.
Oh my God.
So I don't know. I don't know. If you
Yeah, I
ain't
mean, I
living
don't
in the
wish.
ghetto,
I don't care what. I mean, I don't really care too much about what you do. Especially selling overpriced repack products doesn't mean you need to get your butt beat. If he was in the innocent there and he just got beat, then I hope the person that beat him gets in trouble.
we don't have the other side of the story. So that
Yeah,
just
exactly. We only got one
we've
side.
got a YouTuber side of the story. So
Right. Yeah.
we don't
Who
know what
knows?
was
He could have
said
been
or
running his mouth or whatever.
right.
But yeah, ooh, that doesn't look good.
So I don't know what's going on with this dude. The weirdest fucking thing in the world.
Yeah, that's some weird stuff. I did not see
That's
that.
weird shit.
And drama. The NBA is doing amazing. You're crazy. No, it's not. No, it's not. We already went over that. It's not. The ratings, everything, it's not. What margin does Jeff need to make to be maybe financially healthy on his shop? That size and that many employees, he's probably going to be running it. He needs gross margins probably in the 50% range or higher, I think, which you're not going to get on an open product these days. Maybe if you're breaking it, but he just would be another breaker out there. So people are like, oh, he has breaking rooms. It's like, oh, great. Instead of having 30 breakers, now we'll have 33. You know what I mean? Like, it's not.
Yeah. He'll break. They'll be on stream. They'll be on stream for 16 hours and break 2 products. It's like
two products.
and
Yeah. Well,
yeah, it's like
wow.
so.
And
Yeah.
give away $1,800 worth of stuff to get people to tune in. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's a good question, David. With the $1.99, we do appreciate it. He's got to be, in my opinion, he's got to be 50% gross margin to have any hope. Because I think you did the math. Didn't you say he's running at damn near 6-figure shop that size with employees and stuff? You're probably running at about a 6-figure net on terms
Easy.
of your expenses. So yeah, you're gonna have to sell $200,000 worth of stuff every month at a 50% gross margin just to break even. His sales have to be over 2.5 million, which I don't know. There's not that many hobby shops in the world that can do 2.5 in a year. Did Brian Gray offer 30 mil for SCR? If he did, we wouldn't be here. If he offered 300K for SCR, we wouldn't be here either. Wish he did. Anybody can offer that. That'd be great. John Winkler with the 99 for the Giddey Fund. Ryan, you now have a Giddey Fund.
Yes.
Bid on one.
Yes.
Thanks to Mr. Winkler. Appreciate it.
Bam.
Throw a bid down.
Throw a bid on that.
Did Gunna is going off the hook. He says we're anti-whites. No, guys, we're just realists here. We're not. It really has nothing to do with being anti or pro anything. It's all about the stats, and it's all about the 75-year history of the NBA has proven time and time and time and time again that Caucasian players just simply do not. And we can argue if Steve Nash is as good a point guard as Isaiah Thomas or something. We could argue that. But at the end of the day, what is collectible? Where should you put your money? Okay. It's your money. It's your decision. If you want to put it into guys like Josh Giddey, who's the third guy off the bench and is going to be out of the league in about 3 years, by all means.
3 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. Other sports. If we start talking about tennis, Ryan, if we start talking about maybe golf's not the great example because the Tiger Woods happens to be pretty much the only golfer that I would be collecting. There's other sports we could talk about. We start talking about cricket. We start talking about other sports out there. Our tune would be you guys are just used to people telling you what you want to hear. You turn on Fox News, it tells you what you want to hear. You turn on CNBC, it tells you what you want to hear. MSNBC tells you what to hear. Jeff Wilson tells you what you want to hear. It is the truth. Over the 75-year history of the NBA, there is almost zero. We're talking about almost zero white basketball players that were worth buying. Period. End of story. When does Jeff shop open? I think it opens in
January.
January. Karl Malone, Josh Giddey's mentor, apparently so, and Wander Franco probably called in for yeah. If we take down Jeremy Lee, I'll donate 5K to one of your favorite. If the market keeps going down, guys, a lot of these guys are going to be gone. A lot of, the market keeps going down and down and down. So at some point, you got to tap out. What does he have? A video he posted 10 days ago. He has 400 views on. That was 3 days ago. 300 views. I mean, we have more people tuning in live than he's getting in views to some of these videos. At some point, you gotta throw in the towel, guys. I mean, nobody's watching. Nobody's watching this stuff. Maybe if you were real, maybe if you actually told the truth to your audience, that maybe people would actually tune in. But here's Jeff Wilson. This was posted 2 weeks ago. How many views is this at?
2,000.
2,000 views. I mean, that's really, really bad. That's really, really, really bad. Really bad at this point. Like, you made $8 posting this video. How long is this video? Well, maybe as a sponsor. I mean, who's the sponsor paying for 2,000 views?
Maybe Tag.
Oh yes, look at all he's.
Oh, here they are, right here. Here's all the sponsors right here.
Oh my God! Why are we only working with a beef jerky company over here? We need a new sales agent or something. Jesus Christ! Jeez, there's all his sponsors. There's Jeremy Lee's sponsor, guys. Get after all those companies and buy all their stuff. It's unbelievable.
I guess that's why he can make the videos, because.
Could Jeff have PSA at the shop 24/7 with 1 day turnaround or 2 hour? I guess he could. I think PSA is based out here in California though, so seems to me he'll have some stuff where you can group submit with PSA, but at the same time, you're making what, $2 a card, $3 a card as a group submitter, and there's a lot of labor involved with that. So. No, I think we'll have the same kind of video a year from now with Jeff at Sports Card HQ. Basically, hey, well, I bit off more than I can chew and I bought it. He'll blame it on the market. He'll find something to blame. He'll try to spin it in a positive way. But at the end of the day, just another failure. Just another failure. Run Good Life saying, if you don't have YouTube Premium next week, put in a PayPal dispute on this super chat. $20. We do have. I pay for YouTube Premium, and I'm pretty sure Ryan uses it. So
I don't.
He is not.
I don't sign in because I don't want people to see. I don't want people to be like, well, why are you subscribed to this guy, not this guy, or why did you like this video?
I see.
So that's the only. That's literally the only reason why I'm not logged in, because I don't want people to be like, why are you subscribed to this guy, not this guy, or whatever. So. That's the only. We do have YouTube Premium, and hey, we like contributing to the ad market. So if we click on a few videos and there's some ads that pop up, we don't mind that one bit. But Run Good Life, you do a great job over there, busting the cards. Former Check Out My Cards employee, so we love and Run Good Life. And I'm gonna take that $20, and that's gonna be good for 2 months of YouTube Premium. So maybe next week I'll log in, and we'll keep it real, and we'll keep the ads off the stream.
I can't even use. Sometimes I'm like not logged into YouTube, and I'm like, how do people use YouTube with all like it'll be like a 5-minute video and there'll be 8 ads. And there'll be people like on my channel that are like, oh, you sounded kind of salesy in that, you tried to sell me your newsletter in that video. It's like, hello, you just watched a 5-minute video where they had 9 different ad breaks. And I pitch you one time on a $49 a year newsletter for the first time in like 2 years, and you complain about it. It's like, shut the hell up. Jesus.
We
So
know
we're
firsthand.
the Super. We should just stay on the rest of the night. We're gonna get rich here. David Snyder with the $4.99. Will Jeff offer health benefits, 401k, and other benefits,
I
additional
don't think
expenses?
so.
Yeah, I don't know the law. That I guess it would depend on Georgia law there. Health insurance. It says.
Oh, there it
Or
is.
yeah, there it is. And paid to PTO,
What about a
baby.
breaker? Let's check if it's available for a breaker.
Ooh.
See what we got.
Hmm.
Oh, yes, paid time
Yes.
off.
Dude, get that PTO.
Should I apply
this is
right now?
fantastic.
Should I apply right now? View all jobs. There it is.
This
Here you
is
go,
not
guys.
good. No? Sports card breaker. Wow.
Live
Shipping
seller.
associate. Live seller. Yes.
24 hours a day.
Yeah.
Wow, that's gonna be.
You're gonna rack up that PTO if you're working 24 hours a day. God damn.
Well, he's gonna be open 24 hours a day. You're not gonna be. I don't think you could I mean, I don't know. I don't think you can. I know in California you can't legally work 24 hours in a row with one person. So this is a very ambitious move by Mr. Wilson.
Very ambitious. Very, 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 very.
We're gonna have a lot of fun talking about that card store. I mean, if he's gonna be live, he's gonna be live 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Man,
I mean, if I'm out on the East Coast, there's I would say there's a small possibility I could make it up to Atlanta, or wherever this is.
right here.
Zoom out a little bit. How far is this?
Right here is Atlanta.
Just keep zooming
right
out
here.
a little bit more. Keep zooming out. I want to see the whole East Coast because I
Oh.
only go to like one place.
No,
that's
you're
a
way
long
down
way
here.
away.
Yeah, way
Yeah,
up
I'd
here.
have to fly.
You fly into
Hey,
Atlanta.
Probably be like a 30-minute flight. No, but I'm gonna be in Miami.
Mm.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Right.
But if I'm out there, I won't say it's a no, but it's probably kind of a no. Guys, thank you so much. Do a live. So John wants us to do a live from Jeff's shop.
All right. Let's do it.
I mean,
He has a break room, right? So we could just hop in, right? Just hop in the break room. Hop in one of these rooms. Me and you will be there.
And then I know, yeah. Then people will be like, "Oh, you sold out to Jeff. Oh my God, you're turning into Jeremy Lee." But I think we could kind of do it like, like the pizza guy, the Barstool pizza guy or whatever. We could do something like that where we go in there, we come out with a pack, and it's it's one pack. Everybody knows the rules.
Right.
One pack card shop review, and it smelt a little musty in there. Jeff was counting his PPP money still, crying about Jeffrey Riddler or whatever the guy's name is.
Jeffrey Riddler. Desmond Ritter.
Jeffrey Ritter. I don't know any of these guys' names. Yeah, this is a great.
Yeah, here he is. We could just walk out. Yeah, we could just walk out, and we'd be like, "Yeah, we went in there and this and this and this and this," and then dip out. 5 minutes. Go.
I think we could, but I think we could like tailgate from the outside. We could almost like set up a tent, have the beer going, maybe some music or something, have the live stream going. It's possible we would have more people in the parking lot than in the shop, so they might end up kicking us out because there's only so much you can get of Jeff buying your Desmond Ritter cards for 90% over comp.
I think we could be right out here in the parking lot and just do a live stream out in the parking lot on a day when it's not cold.
Okay, well, we'll see.
Unless they let us into the break room. If they let us into the break room, we'll go in the break room and use his Wi-Fi. But if he gives us the Wi-Fi code, we'll do it in the shop.
Yeah. Well, guys, hour and 30 minutes into your beautiful Friday night. Bring backyard Sarah with us. Yes. We would bring Backyard
Oh,
Sarah.
yeah. We
That
need
would be
Backyard
amazing.
Sarah.
Um, she had some nice posts, I would say, the last couple days. High quality post. Well, thank you, John. I appreciate it. John hooking it up. Here's Sarah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, she had like a 9-pack.
There we go. This is the type of breaker that Jeff needs to recruit some breakers to Cards HQ. So
I mean, it didn't really work out that great for Backyard, right? Well, I guess you could say it, the operation at Backyard has gone downhill since Miss Sarah left. Would you agree on that?
I mean, yeah. Do we hear that Backyard's the biggest anymore? Probably not. We don't
I
hear.
know.
We actually don't hear that very often.
We used to
And
hear that all the time.
They don't break. They only really break repack a lot, and occasionally they'll get a big run of something, flawless or something. But they don't actually break like product like they used to. Probably because they can't get it anymore.
Well, it's just not. It's not selling, but like, what do you buy? I mean, there's the one quarterback for the Texans that's really good, CJ Stroud. But other than him, it's like, are you really that excited about anybody else? After you sell the Texan spot, can you really sell the other spots?
I mean, they get excited about these guys, over basically
I
nothing.
guess.
So,
I guess. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
we've seen it time and time again. They get excited over these guys who are like not even top 10 in the whole league. Not even best quarterback on their own team anymore. Some of these guys.
Did I see the video about Roman Sharf apparently faking the Rolex ad interview? I did see that. My opinion, right? I've done business with Roman Sharf. I've emailed him a couple times, and I've bought a watch from them. I sold a watch. I would not be buying any secondary watches right now from any secondary dealer. There's just too much drama going on right now. And you can go into your AD. And when we were in Miami, they had a two-tone Datejust, and I think they had a ladies model right there that you could buy, which is like one of the first times I've ever seen that. And that was months ago. With the right relationship, you could get almost any watch you want at this point. So I would not be the watch game. Somebody in the card community was like, "Man, there's no drama in the watch community," and they couldn't be further from the truth. There's more drama in the watch community than there is the card community. But yeah, I would not. I've sent people to Roman to sell watches to Roman, buy watches for Roman, but right now I probably wouldn't until something happens. Aaron Herbert's very fired up about Dirk Nowitzki, who literally nobody, even the Mavericks fans, don't care about him anymore. They literally don't care.
Well, they pay more for Luka cards.
Exactly. That's his best card. That was like an average. That was like a base Prism PSA 10. Luka at one point. So that was like a PSA 8 Luka Prism. It was $79,000 at one time. But yeah, appreciate the $5. I do appreciate it. Yeah, if Anthony Ferrer had cards, it would be like an autograph or something of his. Probably be worth a lot of money. Yeah, he has a freaking stadium statue, buddy, because he's the only good player in the history of the organization. The last time I was at the Lakers stadium, you know who wasn't outside in a statue? Was fucking Kobe Bryant. The Lakers didn't even have a statue of Kobe Bryant outside of the stadium because they have so many goddamn players in the history of the organization that were good. Now, I think Kobe's getting a statue sometime this year, but if you're a Mavs fan, it's great. You've had one good year. Literally, your entire organization in the 75-year history of the NBA has had one good season. Congratulations. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. I'd rather fondle a picture of Will Grier. Thank you, Will Grier investor. Will Grier, wouldn't it be amazing if we showed up at Sports Card HQ? We were tailgating, and then we had Will Grier as like our special guest. Or
Oh, we
something
should.
Like that.
Yeah,
That would
we need
be
to
amazing.
we need to
That'd
find
be
a way to
amazing.
bring him on the
But
show.
in January, he might be on the way to the Super Bowl. He might be on his way to leading whatever
There it
team he's on to a Super Bowl. So,
There it is.
or winning MVP or whatever he's going to be doing at that time.
This one was only $40. I mean,
There it is. You should have won that. You blew it.
I know. I blew it.
Well, folks, speaking of blowing it, you can put this picture of Sarah or did I say that out loud? Or I guess Brittany and what's her
girl,
name?
Sarah.
And she should be putting workout videos. Like if I could have abs like that, I'd be paired. Well, look at that. Fantastic. Okay. I think that wraps it up. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll be back some other time. Nick Foles has a stadium statue.
What's going on with that PPP?
Just because you have a stadium statue does not make you an investor.
It's like 2.3, but Jeff got it all, getting off scot-free. Trying to talk tips like we talking about stock, but you're talking about men printed on called stock. When you open your mouth, I take it with a grain of salt, cause the market's down and you're a clown, it's all your fault. You ruin the
This is like one of his best cards.
There it is.
Jeff Wilson, you ruin the hobby I love.
Just wait.
Bullshit. Jeff Wilson.
This ended last week.
Jeff, I think you dipped, Jeff. What
Just
you
wait.
talking about? I don't think you dipped yet. Willie's doing shit.
Wait until the guy's 3 years out of the league like Tom Brady and start buying his cards.
Taking money from the people to pay. Most of them are broke, but that's okay. He's getting money.
Will
We
it be
didn't
worth
really
more
start
than just a
seriously-
few?
We didn't even start seriously collecting Kobe, which obviously is not didn't work out that great for us. But didn't really start seriously buying Kobe Bryant cards up until more recently.
Jeff Wilson, you ruined the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, you ruined the hobby I
Joe
love.
Montana too. We didn't have a Joe Montana rookie card up until like this year. You know?
B-side on the beat.
What's going on with that PPP? You done a lot of
Look at that.
talking,
Look
not
how
a
cheap
lot
that
to
is.
see. Up in the
Full
millions
size.
like 2.3,
Yeah.
but Jeff
Very
got
cheap.
it all, getting off scot-free.
Look at you.
Trying to talk tips like we talking about stock, but you're talking
That's pretty
about
cool.
men printed on
He
called
signed
stock.
a
When
lot.
you
He
open
signed
your
a lot.
mouth, I take it with a grain of salt, cause the market's down and you're a clown, it's all your fault. You ruined the hobby I love with your bullshit.
4-0 in the
Jeff
Super Bowl.
Jeff Wilson,
Pretty good.
ruined the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, did you dip, Jeff? I think you dipped, Jeff. What you talking about? I don't think you dipped yet. Willie's doing shady shit like the GOBs, like his whole failed thing with them NFTs, taking money from the people to pay. Most of them are broke,
some
but
ins-
that's
that's some
okay. He's
inscriptions
getting
there.
money. Even better tax free.
Yeah.
Loving all the stimulus from PPP. You ruined the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff
pretty cool
Wilson,
on the
Jeff Wilson, you
full
ruined the
size,
hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, you ruined the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, you ruined the hobby I love with your bullshit.
All right, guys, we'll see you again next week. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you very much. We'll see you again soon.